Today we will see about constraints. These constraints prevents invalid data entry into the table, enforce rules at the table level for DML statements, and it prevents accidental deletion of any table. The constraints can be defined at two levels. One is at column level, another one is at table level. The general definition in the create table will be create table, table name. Column names can be specified with the data type and size. With this column name, the column constraint can be specified. It is an optional one. And when all the column definitions are over, we can include the table constraints, if any, and we can close the create table command with parenthesis and semicolon. The constraint can be specified like this: constraint, constraint name, the constraint type. The constraints can be classified into three types: domain integrity, entity integrity, and referential integrity. In domain integrity, we have two: not null and check constraints. In entity integrity, we have unique and primary key constraints. In referential integrity, foreign key constraint is included. Not null specifies a column cannot contain null values. The unique constraint specifies every value in the column should be unique. And the primary key constraint designates a column to uniquely identify rows of a table. The check constraint specifies a condition that each row of the table must satisfy. Any general condition can be given here. The last one is foreign key, used to refer another table. We will see one by one. The first one is not null constraint. Here the user must give value for that column, and it is a column level constraint. Only at the column definition we can have this not null constraint. The second constraint is unique constraint. It prevents duplicate values and it allows null values. We can omit values if there is no value for the particular column. And the composite unique keys can be specified at the table level. If more than one column has to be included, then it can be declared as a table level constraint. The third one is primary key. It avoids duplication of values like the unique constraint, and it doesn't allow null values into the column as in the not null constraint. The important condition is a table can have only one primary key, but we can combine two columns as a composite primary key. It should be defined at the table level. The fourth one is check constraint. It checks some condition before entering the data into table. References to row num, sysdate, and other row values are not permitted. The most important constraint is foreign key constraint. We can build up relationship between table using this constraint. The tables can be in a relation parent-child or a master-detail relationship. It establishes a relationship with a specified primary or unique key of another table. That column will be called as referenced key. Child table is a table which contains the foreign key, and the parent table is a table containing the referenced key. The referenced key should be the primary key of the parent table. In general, we can define the constraints with constraint, constraint name, foreign key, child table column name, references, table name, that is the parent table, within parenthesis the parent table column name can be given. To add a new constraint to the existing table, we can use alter table, table name, add constraint name is optional one, constraint type should be specified, within parenthesis column name can be given. To remove a constraint, we can have alter table, table name, drop primary key, or unique column name, or constraint name. To enable or disable a constraint, we can use alter table, table name, disable or enable constraint name, cascade. Cascade will be used for foreign key constraints.